Now, in the wake of Germany's Bundestag election, YouTube has updated its policies regarding prohibited content. Any materials that call into question the outcome of Sunday's vote are now banned under the heading Elections Misinformation Policies. It says that users should not post content that advance false claims, specifically claims that widespread fraud, errors or glitches change the outcome of any presidential elections in the US and the 2021 German federal election. Votes in other countries, though, do not get a mention. Well, YouTube says that misinformation of this kind can cause real-world harm and interfere with democratic processes. Among other things, it now also bans content classed as incitement to meddle with elections and hacked materials. Let's bring in Spike Cohen now. He was the US Libertarian Party's candidate for vice president in the 2020 election. Good to have you on, Spike. The first thing that strikes me here, comments online questioning the integrity of election results. You either accept them or you don't, I would have thought, but it seems that YouTube's muting them in some countries and not in others, which immediately just seems unfair. What do you make of it?
Well, Neil, thanks for having me on. And my biggest concern here, right now, the two types of elections that they have explicitly listed out are any past U.S. presidential elections and the 2021 German federal elections. But they also said that this is not a complete list, and they also said that they would be doing this for any elections moving forward once they've been officially certified, whatever that means. So basically what that means is once an election has happened and has been certified by that government, anyone who puts out any content questioning the integrity of it is going to have their content banned. And as we know, YouTube is owned by Google, so we can only assume that all of Google, which is basically the largest media company on earth, is saying that any kind of content that's going to potentially whistleblow on future elections once they've been certified by that government are not going to be allowed. What I'm interested to see is how uniformly is this going to be applied? Are they going to apply this just as equally in China or Russia or a country like that, as opposed to if it happens in the US or in Germany? Is this going to be arbitrarily enforced, or is this basically become a ban on election whistleblowing around the country, around the planet?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, again, off the back of what you were saying there, that springs to mind is freedom of speech. What if people, individuals, have witnessed something they felt was untoward and they want to air that? Shouldn't they get the opportunity to do that?
Well, one would think. I mean, the thing is, as a private platform, they're allowed to decide what they allow. Now, with that said, we've seen over and over again where they're being poked and prodded by government entities to take certain actions. We've certainly seen that in the U.S., where the Biden administration came straight out and said, we're going to pressure Facebook and other social media companies to ban misinformation content against lockdowns or against vaccine mandates that we don't like. So the fact that they explicitly listed the U.S. election and the German election makes me wonder how much of this is this company deciding that's their policy, and how much of it is actually being poking and prodding and coercion from specific governments to do that. But yeah, I mean, in theory anyway, if I had a platform that was like this, I would want for people to be able to share their results. Like you said, even if they don't have proof that there was widespread tampering, they may be able to say or share something that happened in their precinct or where their voting was happening. And why would YouTube want to stop that? Why would they want to block that?
It does seem a bit strange, doesn't it? I mean, maybe people can understand the US elections being put on that list. Fair enough, a US originated company. The German election seems a bit arbitrary when there have been other elections, for example, as in Russia, previous to the German election, so you don't get a mention.
Yeah, it's very interesting to the fact that they've picked those two countries. And like you said, Google's a YouTube or a US-based country. Although at this point, I'm not sure you can call Google a single country's company. It's kind of a worldwide company. But all that to say, why these two countries? Why these two elections? And if there's an election in the country of Georgia or in Europe, in Russia or in China or in, let's say, Afghanistan, let's say the Taliban has an election, and after those results are declared, you have Afghans coming out after the Taliban has officially declared those election results and certified those results. If you have people coming out saying, no, the Taliban, was stopping anyone from voting against them, or they were killing anyone who tried to stop them, are they going to block that as being, election misinformation?
Spike, appreciate your time. Good to speak to you. Spike Cohen, my guest, the US Libertarian Party's candidate for VP in 2020.